Thank you very much for that introduction. And it's great to be speaking at an event like this, albeit virtually today. I was actually with you last year in my previous role as Minister for the Government Digital Service, amongst many other things. So I know what a cornerstone this event is of events across London during this week. And the way you've managed to keep this going is, of course, a testament to what we've seen from the tech industry throughout this entire crisis. Without you, it's safe to say that none of this would be happening, and the economy would be in a lot more trouble than it is now as a result of this public health crisis. So you played a central role in it, and I'm delighted to be back talking to you in my new role as Secretary of State for Digital, Culture, Media and Sport. And COVID, of course, has highlighted how resilient the UK's tech sector really is, even in the face of this global crisis. And I've actually got some stats here that I've just been given, which shows that tech startups in the UK have attracted $5.3 billion from January to May 2020. So that means that London is now raising more than Paris, Stockholm, Berlin and Tel Aviv combined. And really our world-leading tech sector went into this pandemic from a position of strength. And I'm really determined as Secretary of State that it emerges from this crisis even stronger, roaring, ready to go, and to seize the opportunities that arise as we leave lockdown and return to a state of new normality. And startup and tech companies haven't just adapted the approach to support their own businesses during COVID. They've also come up with some incredible, unique, innovative solutions, as many of you will know, to the urgent challenges of health, societal issues and economic problems caused by this terrible disease. And I know that CogX is going to be shining a spotlight on three of the best of those during this event. But contenders include all sorts of pioneering projects, from using nanotech masks and robes to block out the virus, through to self-driving disinfection robots. That's exactly the sort of thing that we as a country and government and indeed the world needs. And I know that just as this is powering us through the lockdown, it will also power us through the recovery. But I also know, both from this role and indeed my previous role with responsibility for the government digital service and wider digital transformation of government, that none of this would have been possible without data. Data used quickly, efficiently and ethically has been one of our most versatile weapons during the battle against this disease. Just take some examples. It's allowed us to work from home, to shop from home, to educate our children from home, to socialise and to exercise from home. It's allowed us to track the disease, to send ventilators and other medical equipment where they're most needed, and to find urgent blood donors and to help find a cure. And as we leave lockdown and enter that new normal, we'll need data more than ever. And certainly with responsibility alongside tech for creative industries, I've seen how much we're going to need that. For example, Google Maps will tell us when shops are at their busiest so we can go when it's quieter. Health data will enable us to monitor second spikes of the disease. The opportunities here really are endless. And it may have taken us a global crisis to realize quite how much of a force for good data is, but I don't intend to let that moment slip. And I think what we've seen in this crisis, and what I've seen for some time, is the opportunity in data, whether that's in growth, creating jobs, improving people's lives. We should be able to focus on that and not just the threats that some people focus on excessively. So that's why our forthcoming national data strategy aims to take everything we've learned from this pandemic and use it to create the best data regime possible. I want our tech companies, charities, the public sector and businesses to continue to have access to this kind of high quality, fast flowing information they put to such good use during this pandemic, so they can continue to innovate, to expand their businesses and to fuel the new era of economic growth in the UK that we will so desperately need as we leave this crisis. And it will place us at the heart of this new data revolution. Now, of course, this is going to be good news for everyone working in AI. And I'm also glad to be able to update you at this moment on a couple of other things government's doing in this area. So over the past year, we've been working with 15 other countries and the World Economic Forum to find ways to accelerate the use of trusted and ethical AI in the public sector. And as a result of this work, This week, the World Economic Forum published a toolkit for governments to help them rethink their government procurement processes. And if we can grow the responsible use of AI by government, that in turn will give a massive boost to the AI industry in the UK, which of course you will know is already in the top 3 in the world. But any sector is only as good as the people in it, which is why we're also making a concerted push on talent and of course diversity. So today I'm very pleased to announce that the £13.5 million AI and data science conversion course programme, which you may remember we announced a year ago, is now open to applications with university courses starting from this autumn. And it vitally includes 1,000 scholarships for students from underrepresented backgrounds, particularly female, Black and disabled students. That means more machine learning engineers, more data scientists, and more AI innovators of the future. And as we eventually move past COVID, we'll be looking to the tech sector to solve some of the huge non-COVID related problems that existed before the pandemic and will of course continue to exist afterwards. So in particular, I'm very glad to announce today that Tech Nation is from today launching a new net zero program to support tech companies who can help the UK meet its ambitious emissions targets by 2050, that very challenging goal that we've set as a nation and as a government. So they're holding an event straight after this with all the details, but the programme is now officially open, so you can get applying for it. So I think probably with that, it's a good moment to hand over to you, Miles, so that we can pay tribute to some of the people and companies who are already using tech to solve some of our biggest challenges. So back over to you.
Thank you, Secretary of State, and I am delighted to be here today, and welcome to the grand final of the Tech4Covid pitching event. We've had 3 exciting semi-finals with companies pitching who are focused on health solutions, addressing societal demands, and helping society recover from the impact of COVID. And this afternoon, we'll be hearing from the winners of these 3 semi-finals. I'm very excited to present 5 amazing judges, as well as the 3 fantastic finalists this afternoon. But first of all, let me introduce our 5 esteemed judges for this event. First of all, we have Zoe. She is Director of AI and Data Economy at Innovate UK, where she leads a team identifying, supporting, and accelerating business innovation in the UK based on cutting-edge AI, data research, and technology. Zoe has a PhD in AI and previously worked as a practitioner using machine learning in the health and retail industries. Welcome, Zoe. Next up, we have Edward. He is an investment director at M Ventures, the venture arm of Merck, making healthcare investments. Prior to Merck, Edward focused on life science securities at a European bank and fundraising for biotech companies, and he holds a master's in biopharmaceutical sciences from Leiden University in the Netherlands. Welcome, Edward. Next up, we have Yi, and Yi was the founding chief strategy officer of FreeUp, which was acquired by Greensill using SoftBank funds in 2019. Yi is now head of strategy at Earned, working on revolutionizing employee pay. Yi is also an angel investor in the fintech space. Welcome, Yi. Next up, we have Thomas. He leads the Paris region's consulting practice for the deep tech sectors and advises foreign companies looking to expand into the Paris region. Thomas is a mechanical engineering by training and previously worked in industry with companies such as Grundfos. Welcome, Thomas. And then last but not least, we have Kutlu, who works at the Creative Destruction Lab in Oxford on the AI stream. He has 20 years of experience advising startups and tech companies. He has started and run a number of startup programs around the world and has an engineering degree from Stanford. Welcome to Kutlu and to the entire judging team. And thank you for working so far to help us narrow down over 100 applicants for this prize to the finalists that we see here today and for their time judging today. So now I would like to move to our finalists for the Tech4Covid final pitch competition and the reason we're here today. And the finalists are Builder, C2.ai, and Haptik. And we're excited to hear more about your companies and vision. For the session today, we'll have each of the companies pitch for 3 minutes. Once all 3 companies have finished pitching, we will collect the judges' scores and announce the grand prize winner. So, without further ado, I would like to ask our first speaker, Sachin from Builder, to kick the process off.
Thank you so much, Miles, and thank you, CogX, for this opportunity. We started Builder because we wanted to help small businesses digitally transform, letting them build software as easy as ordering pizza. No one wants to be left behind. No one wants to be told they're just not good enough, that they don't have the right tools to survive. Ultimately, no one also wants to be told, and no one wants to be irrelevant, but the fear of failure, all the issues that we hear, the hundreds of billions of dollars that's wasted in outsourcing, the cryptic language, detract even the most steadfast of small businesses. Overnight, that need became so much more relevant. What was going to take years is getting compressed into months. As the pandemic struck, the way that businesses traditionally interacted with their customers stopped, changed, and morphed. SMBs that depended on their customers to walk through their doors became vulnerable without a digital presence. And this is so troubling because small businesses are the pinnacles of our society. They're the backbones. Their recovery is our recovery. Their success underpins so much of the character that defines our communities. And as much as I hate to use the word opportunity, I think COVID brings with it an opportunity for SMBs to rethink how they do business, a forcing function for them to pause and evaluate. Today, more than ever before, SMBs need a platform that can take the idea in their head, the problem that they're trying to solve, and put it into the app in their hands. Not a series of complicated lingo, hidden costs, vendors eating into the slice of their earnings. When they don't have to face any of that hardship. And this is why we built Builder.ai, and why ordering software, in our opinion, needs to be as ordering the favorite slice of your pizza. We're making the path to digital transformation infinitely easier, faster, and cheaper. Recently, we made a COVID-19 job board in less than 2 weeks instead of months. All of this is through a series of bottom-up innovations from the Builder knowledge graph, from our assembly line, our reusable feature library, to the computer vision system that does quality control, and it's only a start. A great example of how we've been able to do this shows up in the Studio Store, which is more than our product line. It's a commitment to small businesses the world over. Unlike our competitors, we're not simply giving you a solution and say, go figure it out, nor sending you to consultants that want to charge you $30,000 to customize. We took together the most frequently requested digital solutions and made them into a stack of prepackaged apps, beginning with digital commerce, designed to bring businesses online at a fraction of the time, cost, and complexity. We even tied up with financial institutes to make sure everyone had a pay-as-you-go model, added 3 months of service free, and made it as simple as only needing an idea and a logo. And we've started to see that success. Everyone from the Indian Army that's asked us to build an app for managing food tokens to a baker in Riyadh that wants to continue to stay in business. Helping businesses and the people behind them use the time to leapfrog ahead for the better of our communities is our absolute priority. Thank you.
Thank you, Sachin. A great presentation, and to hear about the work you're doing to help SMEs adapt and build their businesses in this new post-COVID world. So next, I would like to invite Richard from C2.ai to tell us more about the work that you're doing.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for the opportunity. Healthcare UK has named C2AI as one of the 10 essential digital health ideas for a UK national COVID-19 response. Our founders are responsible for the most widely used patient safety systems in the world. Hospitals can typically only identify and resolve 10% of the avoidable harm and mortality that we can detect using our AI-backed approaches that governments such as New Zealand view as globally unique. The issues we address cost millions of lives and hundreds of billions of pounds annually. One of our systems triages patients for the risk of conditions they acquire in hospital and that kill 140,000 people annually in the UK alone. Within weeks, one hospital achieved improvements using the system that at scale across the NHS would save 70,000 lives annually, around £1 billion for the NHS, and save bed capacity equivalent to having an extra 5 very large hospitals, essentially for free. Those benefits would occur regardless of COVID, but that capacity freed up could treat an extra 130,000 COVID-19 patients in the NHS. Perhaps not now, but perhaps in the next surge. In addition, figures suggest that 10% of COVID-19 patients could die as a result of one of the conditions we target, one that we've helped more than halve in hospitals and nearly eradicated in some others. We can help the hospitals that are at breaking point and in the poorer countries of the world. So as well as the direct lives saved by reducing these conditions, and that's, say, 350,000 deaths prevented annually in the US, and the direct costs saved, that's 12.5 billion annually in the US, every extra bed freed that's needed for a COVID-19 or other patient is potentially another life saved. A consultant surgeon in one of our hospitals says, "I've been trying the new C2AI app, both of which parts are phenomenal, work incredibly fast. We're delighted and excited as to how this tool can help us identify these patients and put in place simple measures which will have a significant impact. With around a third of COVID patients acquiring one of the conditions we target, our approach also prevents longer-term and life-changing conditions, including the need for dialysis or transplant for significant numbers of patients. This is particularly important in third world countries where the number of specialists per million population may be less than 1% of the numbers that we enjoy in the West." In the recovery phase of the pandemic, we see today that the NHS surgical waiting list is 10 million. The CDC in the US says objective priority scoring is needed to prioritise who should be operated on first, second, etc. Another of our systems is entering deployment with a couple of leading hospitals in the UK to sort the surgical list in an evidence-based fashion based on the individual risk of mortality and complications for each patient. We therefore believe we can make a difference globally, both during and after the pandemic. Thank you.
Thank you, Richard. Fantastic to hear about the work that you're doing and the huge beneficial impact you're providing to healthcare systems around the world. Next, I would like to invite Kartik to tell us more about Haptik.
Hi, everyone. My name is Kartik, and I'm the Chief Business Officer at Haptik. We are one of the leading conversational AI companies, and what we do is we build intelligent virtual assistants, also known as chatbots, which helps users ask any queries, and there is an intelligent machine which is sitting and understanding those queries and responding back to the users. So we work with a lot of mid to large enterprises to build these intelligent virtual assistants for them. And way back in March, our machine learning algorithm picked up that a lot of users were beginning to talk about COVID and coronavirus. And when we dug deep, we realized people had a lot of questions and confusion around what's really going on. So we built a simple bot as more of as a social responsibility to help people ask these questions and get any answers that they might need. This bot could answer queries around symptoms, how to stay safe, finding the nearby center should you need help, and so on. Organically, the usage of the bot grew at a very fast pace, and the government of India, in fact, took notice of this and approached us to build the official coronavirus help desk for the citizens of India. So along with the government of India, Ministry of Health, and WhatsApp, Haptik built out the official coronavirus help desk for the citizens of India, where on WhatsApp, users could ask any questions that they might have about coronavirus and get answers to the COVID situation. The bot could answer queries around checking for symptoms, finding by the nearby hospital, how to stay safe, and also updating citizens on the advisories and latest statistics on the spread of COVID. In the first day that we launched this bot, we saw 1 million users doing about 1.5 million chats. And with time, the usage of the bot increased as the government put this bot out to the public. The usage was so tremendous that the Prime Minister of the country, Mr. Narendra Modi, also tweeted about it and explained to the citizens and how they can get their queries answered. And even Mark Zuckerberg ended up mentioning this in his on his Facebook page, encouraging users to get their queries answered. It makes me extremely proud that in the 2 months since we've launched, we've seen about 27 million users interacting on the bot. We've expanded the scope of the bot and made it a lot more smarter, and also added multiple languages so that citizens across the length and breadth of the country can get their queries resolved. We're extremely proud to be able to develop such a solution which can help the society and also give them clarity in such a unique situation. The coronavirus bot that we have built is spreading information, reducing panic, and helping citizens one chat at a time. Thank you.
Thank you, Kartik, and great to hear how technology can have such a large impact and how you've been able to dynamically ramp up your COVID program in such a short time and provide such strong support to such a large number of people. So now I would like to ask you, the audience, to submit your votes via Slido that you should see up on the screen, so we can understand how people are feeling in the audience, not just from the judges' side. And I'll ask our judges to put in their final scores so that we have those numbers ready for you so we can announce the winner. But what a great set of presentations, and congratulations to all the speakers for getting selected to this grand final out of over 100 applicants for this Tech4Covid event, and for giving us a concise and compelling introduction to your companies and vision. I know it's challenging in such a short period of time, but I thought you all made fantastic presentations. We are in the midst of one of the biggest societal upheavals of a generation, and you should all be very proud of the work you're doing to help address the huge impact that COVID is having and for being part of the solution. Today, we heard from Builder, who are accelerating SME businesses and the retailers' transition to digital and helping their businesses survive while customers cannot visit them physically. Builder provides a solution to simplify the process of making this digital transition as easy as ordering a pizza. This allows organizations to build their business while ensuring social distancing is maintained via shopping online. Next, we heard from C2.ai, who's addressing avoidable harm in hospitals. With C2.ai's solution, healthcare systems can address the $750 billion of waste that can consume 25% of a hospital's budget, freeing up beds and saving lives, and can directly help healthcare systems around the world address the COVID pandemic. And then finally, we heard from Haptik, who provide a chatbot for COVID and providing stats, advice, and information. They have built out a COVID solution for the Indian government on WhatsApp and provided the world's largest WhatsApp chatbots with over 40 million chats, providing advice to millions of patients in a consistent and cost-effective way. The winner today will receive a virtual plaque that they can use in their marketing materials and on their website. You will also receive a free booth to exhibit at CogX 2021 and will be given a speaker spot at CogX 2021 to provide us all with an update on your progress. In addition, we will sit down with the company and make introductions to investors and potential partners through the CogX network. So with that, I can see that our judges have all put their votes in, and I'm very happy to announce that the winner of the COVID competition here at CogX is C2.ai. Congratulations, and a very tight competition. And I would like to invite Richard up to say a few words.
I'm choked. I attend CogX every year. It's a fantastic event. Thank you for that. I was astonished by the quality of some of the businesses in listening to the various sessions. Thank you to the judges. This is a testament to people like NHS Digital providing the backup and the appropriate data to the hospitals and trusts who have validated and used our solutions over a period of time. And we look forward to not just moving forward ourselves, but also helping some of the people we've made friends with during this competition process, perhaps in advancing their businesses as well.
Thank you very much, Richard. Very, very well done. And I'd also like to announce that the People's Vote has come in, and Haptik is the winner of the People's Vote. So congratulations to Haptik. And now I would like to invite the Secretary of State to join us on screen.
Well, congratulations, Richard, for C2.ai. And I think, isn't it so appropriate that you should win this, given how reliant we all are on our brilliant NHS during this crisis, but how you're using the transformative power of data and tech to improve people's lives. But I also thought the other two presentations were fantastic as well. I think any one of you could have been worthy winners, particularly the role of tech in helping SME seize opportunities and grow. I think that's going to be a big trend in future. So that's a fantastic initiative. And also using bots and WhatsApp to answer healthcare queries, getting consistent messaging out to people is so important as well. So 3 fantastic initiatives. So well done, everyone. I think everyone listening to this can see why there's so many reasons to be optimistic about the future of tech in the UK. We really are world leading alongside the US and China, and long may we continue in that space, and all of you play a vital role in ensuring that will continue to happen. So congratulations to everyone.
Thank you to the full team for putting this together, for those in the background that have made this all happen, for the judges, for the competitors, And it's been a fantastic session, and we hope to be back next year. Thank you.
Want access to more CogX videos? Subscribe now for free at cogx.co.